Good evening wherever you are and welcome to the Saturday Weekend News live here on Metro Television. Note that this bulletin is live on DSTV channel 277. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, entourage from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development who went to Suhum to mark the National Sanitation Day had very little work to do. We'll tell you why and also bring you more on the National Sanitation Day, which was marked today. Residents of New Beshle say they live in fear due to the land boundary dispute between the chiefs and elders of Beshle and Apollonia. Chamber of Petroleum Consumers demand an intervention by the National Petroleum Authority to prevent the various oil marketing companies from implementing the second phase of the petroleum price deregulation. That's coming up in business news. And an opposition leader in Ethiopia demands that political prisoners be freed as anti-government protests continue to rage in one of Africa's most populous countries. Details follow shortly. Please stay. Let's take the news now in detail. As expected on the first Saturday of a new month, Ghanaians today marked the National Sanitation Day. Our Ashanti Regional Correspondent Beatrice Gabra reports that the KMA observed the day at the Central Meat Market in Kumasi.
Personnel from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly arrived at the Central Meat Market at about 7 a.m. Saturday morning. The regional branch of the Ghana National Service assisted the team with a fire tender which supplied enough water to clean the drains in the market. The blood-stained floors and tables of the meat sellers were also cleaned. Surprisingly though, some of the traders sat unconcerned. Godwin Okumanyame is the public relations officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly.
Now at the end of the day, they should make sure that after collecting the waste, they send it to the waste collecting point. So that the next time that it's in the market, it will be a better place for us. I'm of the view that we should make sure that actually we enforce the violence of the assembly, which says that people do not participate in communal labor, to be prosecuted.
Meanwhile, a clean-up exercise at Daban, which was organized by the NDC parliamentary candidate for Nshayeso, Dr. Samuel Sapong, was nearly marred by the Queen Mother of the area, Nanaya Asantewa. She questioned why supporters of the aspirant wore his branded T-shirts to embark on the exercise.
A lot of people have decided to participate because of the enthusiasm that have brought into the system. But it's rather very unfortunate that others who do not want this exercise to become meaningful to Ghanaians have decided to disrupt us.
In a related development, Christian Ahodia reports that entourage from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development who went to Suhum to mark the National Sanitation Day had very little work to do.
Even before the establishment of the National Sanitation Day, the Suhum Municipal Assembly, in partnership with the chiefs and the people of the area, periodically organized clean-up exercises. This, according to the paramount chief of the area, is the main reason why Suhum is almost always clean.
Local government minister on the name now the MC in France said Ojetu no say medical say Emre Suhum municipality almost every first Saturday in the month and subsequently say akwesi jai da pa no ne ade no yesi room enti yedi national one e ba ha no amaye ngamre ye ka che on se ma wo mu ye animas.
Speaking to Metro News, the municipal chief executive of the area reiterated her outfit's commitment in providing the needed logistics to keep the municipality clean.
In every first Saturday of the month, that is what we do. Market is the center because that's where we get our foodstuffs. So it's been a routine. This is not new to them. It's just that today, nationally or nationwide, we are hosting it. But it's been a routine. They are always very, very active.
Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Collins Dauda, lauded the assembly for its efforts and called on other assemblies to emulate them.
I got here much earlier than all of you. Some people should be waiting that is an indication that the people are no more waiting for us to ask them to clean the environment. They do it ahead of us. And I think it is a mark of understanding the policy and opinion of the national security. And I'm happy that people are buying into this policy.
Without much to do, the minister and the team toured the Suhum township.
Away from that, 15 national service personnel exiting the newly created urban sanitation module by the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation and other waste management organizations like Zoom Lion are to receive further training in spatial data gathering known as the geometric information in the Netherlands and India. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, Joseph Ajipong, the initiative is a scholarship aimed at boosting the country's data gathering capacity.
Last year, the National Service Secretariat introduced a number of new models for some personnel, one of them called the Urban Sanitation Model, a geospatial platform with an integrated waste bin distribution and collection database system to optimize nationwide waste collection. In view of this, an award scheme was instituted dubbed the Urban Sanitation Awards to, among others, reward hard work and to build capacity. Mahama Ayariga called for effective ways in solving our problems.
Technology can do so much for all of us. And when I saw what you were doing, I just said, look, this is the solution to our problems. We need a proper geospatial map that gives us accurate information about the location of properties, the naming of, the numbering of the properties, every information that you need that can be used by different agencies and departments.
Acting Executive Director for the National Service Secretariat, Dr. Pesa White says the award scheme should serve as encouragement to others.
We must see national service as a program of collective responsibility. It is not just governments sending young people to support institutions, but it's also institutions willing to teach them, mentor them, train them, and help them become very useful and responsible citizens of this country. And so we appeal to the user agencies who by all means help our national service personnel by way of providing accommodation if they can, by way of supporting them in any other way possible, and not to only see them as people who have come to work, but also as people who have come to learn.
Joseph Xiao Ejipon is the Chief Executive Officer of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited.
The national service personnel must be encouraged, must be identified. Those who are very good, identify them, develop them, and I think it will go a long way to support industries, support this country. And looking at the area that we are developing, the special data, we have few expertise here in this country. And we have been informed that Segis in Legon is doing it, Tech is also doing, but what we have to do is to sustain and get people that we can live in. So we're taking these people to India, to Netherlands to build their capacity so that it will help society.
In all, a total of 92 out of 500 personnel were awarded.
Moving on, winners of this year's UNICEF Open Defecation Media and Photo Contest, including Metro News' Gabriel Obodai-Togbashong, have joined officials from UNICEF and Alliance Francaise to inspect works of 6 selected artists on open defecation. The work of the artists forms part of UNICEF's campaign designed to use art to tackle open defecation in Ghana.
First port of call was to Nana Afaridaku's workshop in Koforidua. His project shall be an intertwined welded tool and water closet to draw a strong connection between leadership and eradication of open defecation. In Nima, Mohamed Awudu is using graffiti, whereas Kwesi Botri is using portrait sketch on canvas for their artworks. Both artist works are focusing on the need to curb open defecation at public places.
So she came to the public toilet because she wants to defecate, and then there are people inside. So you could see she's holding her head, feeling pain in there.
This project has given me like opportunity to put up what I experience every day in my life.
In Sakaman was Bright Akwe doing a satirical work on tourism and open defecation. Henry Obimpe is creatively using fabric for his work, whilst Fiona Aku, the only lady among the participants, is doing a 6-minute video production.
A guy decides to impress the girlfriend to be by preparing her some delicious meal. But after the meal, unfortunately, she needed to use the washroom. But he didn't have a washroom.
I haven't done anything with UNICEF before, so I also see it as an opportunity, and and so yeah, let's talk shit.
Why am I using these fabrics? Now, I mean, in Pankasa normally is worn by the old wives to tease the new wives. Now, to me, we have a big problem on our hands, and people are behaving as if they are not seeing it.
My colleague journalists were impressed.
Like he's saying that one person can't do it alone. If all of us, we put our hands together and fight this menace, this canker, I think Ghana can ride itself over it because it's so embarrassing.
Going through the various studios of the various artists, it was beyond the expectation that I have. Yeah, the most striking one was the one that draws on the computer and makes the cartoons.
First exhibition is taking place on 28th September 2016, followed by exhibition in selected communities. For Metro News, this is Gabriel Obodai Togba Sean reporting.
The Saturday Weekend News continues with more stories after this break. Please stay. Welcome back to the Saturday Weekend News live here on Metro Television. Hundreds of residents of New Gbeshile say they are living in fear. Some can no longer get to their homes due to the activities of land guards who have taken over the area. The situation has come about because of a land boundary dispute between their landowners, the chief and elders of Gbeshile, and some elders of Apollonia.
The residents say they acquired the lands from the chief and elders of Gbeshile, but they are now caught up in a land dispute between their landlords, the chief and elders of Gbeshile, and some elders of Apollonia, who have sold the same land to a private investor. The private investor, they say, has not only fenced the area, but is also using land guards to prevent those whose houses are within the fence from going to their houses. The president of the New Gbeshile Residents Association says the private developer had agreed earlier to release a portion of the land to them after it came to light that that part was Gbeshile lands. He has since failed to do that. The residents are calling on government to intervene.
Because of the land guard patrolling that area, their life at danger, and it's very seriously. Even now, no, it's like they are in prison, house arrest. They can't even come out. In the evening, they are not safe because you see the land guard with motors here and there.
The reason why we are doing this is that the land guards are disturbing, and two, we are not now having any trust. In a sense that today they'll call that we will meet, next week no show, next week we'll meet, no show. So we realize that what is happening now, we've done everything we need to do. The total land of acreage that is being looked at is about 1,400. We are just only looking at 150 acres. Give this portion to us so that we can continue to. Some people have been ejected from their homes, knowing very well that they have land, pieces of land that they need to settle on. What do they do?
The Mankralo of Gbeshile said the issue of land guards terrorizing residents has become a major headache to them.
What regional minister, what the police station, what a report, what the head office, Temahabo, then what a report, what the assembly, what a report, Henafuma Jamema, Boniyano Nakano Bebe.
The private investor has refused to comment, except to say he is ready to ensure peace in the area.
The regional chairman of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council has appealed to leaders of the country to allow the church function as an individual body without political affiliations. Apostle Emmanuel Juma was speaking at the second half delegates meeting here in Accra.
The Ghana Pentecostal Charismatic Council consists of representatives from the National Executive Council, heads of member churches, regional area heads, district pastors, zonal and sub-zonal chairmen, executive committee members and regional executives of women youth wings to steer the affairs of the council. The regional chairman of the Ghana Pentecostal Charismatic Council indicated that the objective of the second half-year delegates meeting is to take stock and account on the state of operations of the Ghana Pentecostal Charismatic Council for the first half of the year and developments and projections for the previous year.
And we are also advising the people involved in the electoral process, that is the Electoral Commission, and then the polling agents, plus even the Supreme Court personnel, that they also monitor. They shouldn't sit down till things go awry before they come in. They should also be involved and also send personnel to monitor elections. Then the security personnel who are there, they should not be partisan, impartial. They must be credible and do their work professionally.
The regional secretary, Johnny Apiankran, noted that the theme for the meeting, Come Holy Spirit, Revive and Empower Us for Service, was chosen to remind delegates of the council's essence and assignments concerning the unity, peace, political, social and economic growth and development of the Christian church and the state of the country.
Let us not sacrifice our conscience for anything. What is right must be upheld, and what is wrong, no matter the inducement, it must be rejected.
Organizers of the church were quick to state that the council plays a key role in influencing social vices, including corruption, armed robbery, rape and sexual scandals. The Ghana Pentecostal Charismatic Council Week celebration comes off from the 3rd to the 9th October 2016.
Ghanaians are being urged to come on board the fight against poliomyelitis. According to a district governor of Rotary Zone Institute, neighboring Nigeria has already recorded 2 cases, an incident which must keep Ghana on its toes. This was made known during a Centennial Health Walk by some members of the club.
The Centennial Health Walk by the Rotary Zone Institute saw the presence of the visiting international president, John Jem, joining the 300 meters health walk from the Sankara runabout to the Christ the King Church. The health walk saw some members of the Rotary Zone Institute walking through some principal streets of Accra to create awareness of polio.
Rotary had a strong conviction that polio can be eradicated through national immunization days. And we have gone through 31 years. And we have reduced polio incidences from about 350,000 cases per year to 74 cases as at last year, to 21 cases as at today this year. Even though we have not recorded any cases in the past 8 years, we should be vigilant, particularly at a time when 2 cases have re-emerged in Nigeria.
Since June 2015, the Rotary International Club has expended a total of $2.5 billion around the world on child immunization against polio.
Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Ablangomashi, has called for the cooperation of Ghanaians to help maintain peace in the country during the upcoming general elections. Speaking at the launch of the 2016 Avetime Amu Festival in Accra, she said in order to protect our heritage as a nation, we must first maintain peace in the country. The Avetime Amu Festival is an annual rice festival celebrated by the people of Avetime traditional area in the Volta region. It is celebrated amongst the 7 towns in the area on rotational basis every year. The festival was first organized in 2010 by the then Paramount Chief of Avetime. The annual celebration of the festival is used as a platform to promote rice and its nutritional and economic benefits and raise funds for developmental projects in the area. Speaking at the launch of the festival in Accra, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Ablangomashi, urged the traditional leaders to rebrand the celebration of festivals by involving event planners in the planning of their celebrations.
We have to allow professionals to help us package it as a product worthy of selling. By that I mean that for the festival to have a character that will appeal to people who are not from Avetime alone, but to have appeal for everybody around the country, we need to involve event planners to help us to rebrand and repackage the festivals.
Paramount Chief of the area called on the youth of the community to participate effectively in the cultivation of the cereal in order to help increase productivity.
You don't have to have any fear that anybody is going to juju you or to kill you. If your time hasn't come for you to die, you will never die. And so take your destiny into your own hands. Give off the best that God has given to you. Help us to develop Avetime the way our forefathers have sacrificed for us to be where we are today.
This year's celebration is scheduled to take place at Avetime on the 19th of November 2016. The Saturday Weekend News continues with business news after this break. Please stay. Welcome back. Time now for the business news. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers wants the National Petroleum Authority to step in to prevent the various oil marketing companies from implementing the second phase of the petroleum price deregulation.
A current unified pricing system that allows the OMC to charge same prices across the various zones or regions, and prices are uniform across the country, and for which reason consumers are still charged what do you call the UPPF, or the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund, to be able to sustain or maintain unified prices across the length and breadth of the country. When we decide to roll to second phase of deregulation, which stipulates that prices could now be differentiated from one zone or region to the other, what it would eventually bring is the situation where there will be utter confusion, there will be utter chaos, and some parts of the country would actually suffer because cost of living would naturally go up in those places where fuel products may cost a little more than in some parts. You would also be looking at transport fares and the fact that the GPRTU and Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council over the period is able to coordinate its members to set unified or uniform transport fares across. So if I pick a car from Accra to say Takwa or Takoradi, and it costs me 20 cedis, the return journey is expected to cost me the same 20 cedis.
In international news this evening, an opposition leader in Ethiopia has demanded that political prisoners be freed as anti-government protests continue to rage in one of Africa's most populous countries. According to sources, at least 500 people have been killed since unrest began in November. Thousands have also been arrested, rights groups say, and many have not been heard from since they were detained. Right, so that's all we have for you by way of news. Thanks for watching. My name is Gifty Genfi. Have a good evening.